The 50-year mortgage. That's been the big news in the mortgage world for the past week or two, since our current administration threw out the idea that they may possibly try to introduce this in the coming months or years. Now, when this initially got announced, I said, wow, that doesn't make any sense. That's actually stupid. But under certain situations and certain scenarios, it may make sense for somebody. My biggest thing, and what I would urge someone that's possibly considering thinking about a 50-year mortgage when they're going to buy a property, is think of the long-term effects. So initially, on average, homeowners and property owners, they own a property from anywhere from 7 to 10 years on average before life happens. They need to upgrade, they need to downgrade, they need to relocate, death, divorce, all of those type of things. So with that being said, when you traditionally take on a 30-year mortgage, the first, say, 8 to 10 years is traditionally heavy interest in that payment. So what that means is your principal is not really taking too much of a decrease in how much you owe, because a lot of that payment is going towards interest. So with a 50-year mortgage, the way that I would look at it is you have to be in this house for a considerable amount of time. So you should only really think about utilizing this product if this is your forever home. But the numbers, they don't really support this idea. Just recently, they announced that the average homeowner is now 40 years old. So let's base our calculations off those numbers. If someone's 40 years old and they take on a 50-year mortgage and they stay there through the life of that mortgage, they're 90 years old. At 90 years old, are you really working to pay a mortgage? And we're also banking on the equity and the market to continue to increase to the point where, hey, if you do decide to sell, you're going to make money. So case by case basis, this is what people should be factoring in. Am I married to this house and married to this area for the long term? Or is this something that I need to take on now because it's giving me more buying power? Just based off the average numbers, if you take on a 50-year mortgage, your buying power will increase because it's basically expanding the amount that you're purchasing over 20 more years. But what I would really harp on and what I really focus on as someone that's thinking about getting a mortgage, you really have to factor in your today goals and your long-term goals. Because if, say, you want to move south in 8 to 10 years, probably is not going to be worth it, or it may not even be worth it to buy a property, because at the end of the day, when you do move south, unless you plan to keep this property forever, you may have to sell it. And if you're completely underwater, you'll be in a position where you'll have to come to the table with money, or it's just not beneficial and you're not able to get rid of this property to further be where you want to be. So that's my opinion on it. I think it's going to help some people, and it's going to put some people in a spot where they didn't really factor in the details and the ramifications of taking a loan term that long. But at the end of the day, it's a case-by-case basis. It's going to work for some people. It's not going to work for some people. It is a good thing because it introduces another product to loan officers, realtors, and consumers to achieve their goal of home ownership by any means. So that is what I would really focus on. You really want to look at your financial situation. You want to look at your long-term goals, and you want to say, okay, does this work for me and my family? Or is it better for me to go with a shorter term, a 30-year, a 15-year, or something along those lines? As always, if you ever have any questions, send me a message, give me a call. I'm here to help and direct you the best that I can to help you make the move that's best for you and your family.